Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with more Gran Turismo 7, this time round with the Manufacturers Series 2022/23 Season 3 Round 2. Yes, these names are definitely not a mouthful now on the sim. This week out, of course, we head back actually to Autodromo Lago Maggiore. Of course, last time we did the East End layout the West End layout, didn't we, in the Citroen DS. It was quite an interesting race, good fun. This time around, we're on the west side of the circuit in the Group 4 cars. Now, I've actually stuck with Nissan for this season, as you can nicely see. Yeah, that was good timing by the game. I just thought, you know, we didn't really get to do much of last season in this car. I did, I think, one race in this one, and then I didn't do a single race in the GT3. So I thought, well, we'll jump in again with it and see how we get on. And let's try and see if we can get a good qualifying lap, because this track is going to be chaotic. Up the hill though to finish off my final lap. Has not been brilliant qualifying session, to be honest, but we'll see if we can improve as we head up towards the line. We're down in P13 at the moment, so we really do with a big improvement there, and there we go. Slot ourselves back up into P6 then, so not a bad time come the end of qualifying there. Quite tight, you know, it's a very, very short track round here, 20 laps ahead of us, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, very, very tight qualifying session there. 1/100th of a second between myself and 8th place, which is rather impressive, but let's get into this. Right, let's do this thing then, here from the Autodromo Lago Maggiore once again. Starting P7, we did get relegated one spot come the end of qualifying. Then 20-lap race, going to take us just under 20 minutes to do if we keep things clean and tidy. And let's try and hope that we can kick off another manufacturer season on a good note there. I'm wondering actually when the proper seasons are going to start. Hopefully this is the last of the sort of practice ones, if you will. I'm still enjoying Gran Turismo 7 though, from time to time. Some of the combos are still completely out of whack, but lights out and away we go then. We've got a Rothmans Porsche that looks stunning just in front of me there as we immediately bounce off the red line on the first couple of shifts. Got to remember just how short the gearing can be on these Group 4 cars. Let's chuck it down in towards the first corner there. Didn't clip those curbs on my qualifying lap, so I've got to be a bit careful in the big one today. Make sure, you know, it is all about trying to get this car wedged over a lot of the curbs as well, and of course this sketchy hairpin is going to be very, very interesting and probably the centre of a lot of chaos throughout the course of today. Let's just see on my radar, you can see plenty of cars steaming in behind us, but we kind of sent it through. We kind of did get away with it as much as possible there, as you can still see. Yeah, Ford Mustang, I think it is, at the front of the field there, constantly just able to improve in qualifying, as apparently I'm not taking enough curb through there as we almost loop it in the sand pit on the exit. Looks like there's stuff going on behind us though, which has built up a little bit of a gap by the end of that one. I've not got a car within a second in front or a second behind there, so fairly lonely start to this race here from Lago Maggiore. But you know what, with some of the races I get on this game, I'm not going to complain too much about that 1 second. As you can see, again, side by side through the first couple of corners for a couple of the cars in front there. The Porsche is going to be left with very little places to go. Top 3 then already trying to break free at the front of the field, but if I can get in this little gaggle there, as that is a lot of curb by the Ferrari, and they're 3 wide. That is never going to end well. Plenty of contact between all 3 of them. As okay, thank you. We'll have 2 free places. I do appreciate that, and straight up into P5 then. So clearly tempers are going to fly around this venue, but let's try and actually take a bit more curbing. Can you get away with that? That seemed like a lot. I never really sort of thought about it in free practice, as we got, again, the Rothmans Porsche trying to look up the inside through the final couple of turns there. Slightly altered Lago Maggiore, if I'm not mistaken, on Gran Turismo 7. I never remember this corner being so far wide on GT Sports, so I think they have tweaked that slightly, but cannot let the Ferrari get away. Got to make sure that we stay close But he is already 1 second up there, the Spaniard, in a Ferrari. Where have we seen that before? I do wonder. That is not the line into there. Just try and control the slide. And don't get punted from behind. And again, this is one of the things I've noticed in this car. I really don't know whether first or second gear is the way to go on that exit there. So again, really try and pinch the Porsche. It's probably going to get me down into here. But yeah, I really don't know what sort of gear I should be in there. I tried second, I've tried first. Neither seem quite right in the Nissan. It seems to want to sit somewhere in between them, which is not ideal. You either stay in second and you don't get the rotation, or you put it down into first and you don't get the pickup off the corner. Together, let's just see once more how much the slipstream affects things here on GT7 to the inside once more of the Porsche. Just make sure that we squeeze him out on the exit, and again, this could be a battle that rages on throughout a lot of this race, but we are both losing time to the Ferrari. So again though, the Porsche, it's the inside, we've got another car trying to get involved in this. So we've got the Czech driver. He's very, very early on the brakes that time. Czech driver's going to try and squeeze his way by as well. That is a livery and a half. You could have given me 1,000 years to guess what was on the back of that car, and that would never have been my guess, as he's pit? I don't know why he's done that. Is there something I don't know in this race? Not really sure, but you could have given me 1,000 years. I would not have guessed that would be what's on the back of his car. But you know what? I'm all for it. Still battling for P5 though. I think the Ferrari, unless something crazy happens, is already pulling out quite a nice gap, as apparently I'm battling the Spaniards today. It would appear. Down the hill. Purple allegedly through Sector 1. You never know whether to believe that or what. On GT7, it's trying just to experiment still with a couple of different lines. You just don't get the pickup off the corner in this car. This is the problem I find. Yeah, it's just a bit strange. Again, we were a bit offline on the way in, but another car is just able to put the power down around my outside. Is that another Porsche? Yes, it is. So, I wonder if it's just the Porsche is getting incredibly good hookup off the corner or what, but just able to maintain so much more speed than me at the moment. Perhaps I'm just slightly out of my depth up in A license. Of course, got promoted last season. Still feel like I'm pretty competent. Whether it's just a bad track for this car, I don't know. But yeah, it just seems like we are really struggling at the moment, and I don't want to spend the rest of the day going backwards if I can avoid it. It's just that corner, though, that I'm really struggling with, or the corner before as well, but I just keep braking too late. I'm trying to use the end of the curb as a reference point, and it's definitely not that far into the apex. Oh, there we go. That, I've said how good the Porsche gets a run out of there. That is not the line you wanted to get out of that one that time round. He was still losing a second. I'll lap to the leader. So am I going to get sent? No, apparently not. But I ain't going to run myself wide. And that's me taking a trip to the sandpit. See another car behind getting a decent run through the final couple of corners. The Porsche doesn't want anything to do with it. Oh, I'm way offline as well. Come on, what am I doing? Focus up. Almost at half distance already, though. Still... Oh, that's too late. That's too late. You've got to brake before a lot of the reference points on this lap is what I'm learning. As I don't know what car this guy's in. I do apologise there for the contact. He's in a BMW. And he's sailed by. I am just dropping like a stone. How am I losing that much? I don't get it. Just, how are people getting that much pickup off the corner? I've definitely got to start leaving it in second, but now I just can't get the rotation in. So can we try and get a run on Nissan Silvia? I didn't know you could run those in Group 4. Learn something new every day, I guess. Why are more cars pitting? I'm really worried there is something I don't know in this race. Can you go mediums? I'll have to wait and see what everyone else does later on, but I didn't think you had to pit in this. But yeah, we're going to try and stick with this guy then. Yeah, I've got no idea what's going on with that. Lower half distance then in this race, I'm still very, very confused as to what's going on. It would be nice if Gran Turismo, say with like 5 laps to go, warned you if you hadn't done the correct tyre usage or something like that, but yeah, that S14 is just pulling away from me, and there seems to be nothing I can do about it at the moment. definitely second gear is the way to go through there. I'm now not losing much time, but I don't get how I'm losing so much around the entire rest of the lap. I just don't think this is a good track for this car, or I'm just getting slower on GT7 is a very likely possibility. But yeah, there's a huge gap behind P8, so this race has kind of fanned out into two completely separate groups, and I cannot work out how, apart from the pit stops. Yellow flag's out, someone span up the road. Not too sure what's gone on there. Oh, are we going to gain a freebie? There's definitely a car running slowly. Who's going to... Oh, that is a horrible place to have a spin, because you're going to lose time all the way up the hill, and they are heading into the pit lane. Have we got to go mediums? I don't even think mediums were a valid tyre in this race. I am lost for words. 7 laps to go. We are now at 2/3 distance, and I just cannot work out what the strategy is meant to be. Italian behind me as well is taking a fair old chunk of time out of me every lap, so I do need to focus up and really start pushing again a bit more. But yeah, this is just another bizarre race in the world of Gran Turismo. It would be nice again, of course, if Gran Turismo started doing some slightly longer races. You know, these 15 to 20 minute ones don't really feel as good as, you know, the sort of 35, 40 minute ones. Still, I think my favourite ones were the Toyota Grand Final ones that you could emulate on GT7. 45 minute races, I think, is really where this game really does shine, you know, with the different strategies and things like that. And I think, you know, I don't know why Gran Turismo Sport, they seem so happy to try that sort of thing, but GT7, it seems like what they're trying with every race just doesn't really make sense. Like, you know, the DS was an interesting idea and things like that, or the Honda Jazz, but you're kind of there, like, you've got all these fancy GT3 race cars and GT4 race cars, and you work on this bop, and, you know, you've got cars that aren't normally in the class that you've converted into the class, and all this, that, and the other. Why not use them for 45 minute races or an hour race or something like that? It just seems weird. Like, even if they just hosted, you know, a few, like, say for example 8 PM every night of the week, you know, GR3 1 hour race that you can only do, like, say for example 8 PM if you're in Europe, and obviously different time zones around the world, but, you know, just create that little bit of exclusivity with it, that you've got to be on at a certain time to give it a go. It just seems like they're not quite understanding, you know, because this game is generally still good fun a lot of the time, but it just doesn't seem like Gran Turismo are aware of it or don't really know why it's fun. It just seems odd to me, personally. But anyway, we've got 2.5 laps to go. I'm keeping, I think it's another S14 behind me at the moment, but he's still only 2 seconds back. Spaniard in front of me, the gap's staying pretty level at about 3 seconds. So, unless something crazy happens, I think, well, again, we still don't quite know what's going on with tyre strategy, to be honest. I still haven't seen anyone at the front pit, so if they're not going to, I probably won't. Yeah, very, very weird, but if it's going to net me a decent result, then I'm not going to complain too much. There we go, leaders pitting. I think we have got a pit in this one then, so this is really going to spice things up then late on in the afternoon. Every other car in front of me is peeling into the pit lane, apart from the Spaniard. So if you do have to pit, he's completely messed it up. If you don't have to pit, he's taking the easiest win of his life. This makes incredibly little sense to me. I mean, it was very low tyre wear and very low fuel usage, so it's not like I don't think people are going to get a really aggressive undercut on me or anything like that. It just seems a bit weird here today on Gran Turismo. But where am I going to re-emerge then in this race? We are going to be back out in P8, P9, P10 by the looks of it. We've actually re-emerged in quite a fierce little battle late on in the day. So yeah, going to get a little bit of drama and intrigue then late on here on Gran Turismo 7. Can we try and get back past these two, by the looks of it, S14s? This guy's got a slow down penalty. I've now got a slow down penalty as well. So I don't know whether we're going to serve that. We're going to have to serve that after the race, I'm guessing. Oh, that guy's almost span as well. It's all kicking off late on in the day. Not even convinced that S14 is going to lose enough time. We've got to try and get to the inside of this one, though. We're going to be 3 wide in towards the hairpin. And after a race where not a lot's happened, we're going to muscle our way back through there, try and get a run off the corner. And surely now, we're going to try and force them the long way around. Sit in the way through these final couple of turns. But with a half-second penalty, Definitely going to lose the one spot. Will I lose both, though? Up over the line. We are going to finish P10, and it doubled. Why did it double to a 1 second penalty? We've lost so many places. Had it only been the half a second, we would have been 17 thousandths away from the Italian there, but apparently not. There we go. That's going to do us then from this week's Gran Turismo 7 Manufacturers Series. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed. Not the best race in the world, but hopefully, yeah, we'll come back soon in a combo that suits us a bit more.